And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Last year, Purple Brain Games put out a series of games, family games, called Tales and Games, through a yellow here in the US. They look like this, they look like books when they stack up. The first one was Three Little Pigs, which was my Family Game of the Year pick last year. Baba Yaga was the second one. And now we have the third one, Hare and Tortoise. Same type of thing, they all come with a little fable and a tale in there. 20 minutes, 2 to 5 players. These are family style games that you can play with kids, but they're good enough games that adults like as well. Let's see how this one stacks up alone and to the other ones that are here. I'll show you how it's played. It's a racing game, card playing game. You're trying to, hey, the tortoise and the hare and the tortoise. Let's check it out. I'll see you on the other side. So we have the route set up for Hare and Tortoise. This gets set up randomly every time. You shuffle the tiles up. They're double-sided. You can put them any way you want, so you pretty much make a new map every time you play the game. And we have the 5 different characters who are ready to start the race at there. At the beginning of the game, you're giving one of these starting betting cards. You keep it secret. You get to look at it, but no one else does. Ooh, I want the tortoise to win. Nobody else can see this. If you're playing with 2 players, you'll get 2 of these. Otherwise, you'll get 1 of those. I will also get given 7 of these racing cards that I get to look at. And what I get to do is choose which other person I'm going to be betting on. Now we know that, for example, I'm already betting on the tortoise. So we're going to secretly take one of these cards, put it face down next to my starting betting tile. I can bet the same person. Of course, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Maybe I want the sheep guy to win. So I'll put this face down, and I like to put it underneath the betting so that we know that that one is for that. The rest of these 6 cards go in your hand, and that starts the game. The game is very simple. Someone is the starting player. They'll get this clock in front of them, and they will throw down any amount of cards between 1 and 4 cards. The rule is you have to throw down only the same character. So for example, I can't throw down 2 different characters at once. I have a bunch of these guys. I can throw down just 1 of those cards, and that would be my turn. Or I can throw down 2 of them. Let's say that. Or if I had a third one, I could throw down. You can throw down 1 to 4 cards, but they have to be the same one. And then someone else would play. So maybe it's the next person's turn, and they throw down maybe just 1 turtle card. And that's the next player's turn. And he throws down 2 sheep cards. And this continues until one of 2 things happens. Either there's exactly 8 cards out there in total, no more nor less, or there's exactly 4 cards of any animal. When that happens, it automatically stops and racing happens. Everyone gets a player aid card, and you start from the top and work your way down at every racing phase. So here we see this guy, the hare. And what this tells us is if 1 to 4 cards are placed of him when the racing phase triggers, he gets to move 2. If he's in first place, not kind of the start of the game, and 4 cards were placed, he doesn't move at all. So in this case, he would move 2. So we take him here, 1, 2. The next one's the tortoise. 0 to 3 cards, he moves 1. So he's going to move 1 every time. So having this card here did him really nothing. But if 4 cards of him are put, that he gets to move 2. So in this case, he would just move 1. He moves every turn. And there's the tortoise. Next one, we have the wolf here. Also, note that it tells you here in numbers how many cards there are of each of those. So there's less as they go down. Next one's the wolf. 1 or 2 cards, he moves 1. 3 or 4 cards, he moves that number -1. So if there are 4 cards, he would move 4 -1 or 3. 3 cards, 3 -1, 2, 1 or 2, he'd move 1. Unless he has a card that has this wolf label on it. If this card was played, he scares everybody else, and nobody else moves except the wolf. Very powerful card there. Since that card wasn't there, we don't need to do anything. The fox, 1 to 4, he moves the amount of cards that were there. That wasn't there either. The sheep, 1 to 4, he's going to move however many cards there were, +1, but he must stop at any streams to drink. So 4, this should normally allow him to move 5. But in this case, he doesn't get to move 5, he stops at 3 because he has to stop and drink at the stream. That would be the end of the race phase. All these cards would go to a discard pile. This would get passed to the next player on the left from the player that just played the last card, and we would start all over again, waiting to get 8 different cards or 4 of any one, and we continue to do that. Now once somebody gets past the finish, they will go into whatever place is available. So first place there. Let's say this tortoise went second. he would get second place. And let's say the wolf came in third, he would get third place. As soon as the top three people there, the game ends and we start tallying out points. Also note that when someone's on the podium, you can play their cards and nothing happens. So you can kind of get rid of your cards that way, of bad cards that you didn't want to play once they're on the podium. Let's look at how scoring works. So here we have the podium. Now everyone would flip over their starting bidding tile and their choice bidding. And I had the tortoise and the sheep. So first place is 5 points, second place is 3 points, third place is 2 points. I would have had 8 points there and probably would have won. But that's how scoring works. If you're tied, the one who has the higher person wins. If you're still tied, play again. And to show you, not only does it have the rule book, but just like all the other series in these tales, it actually has the fable that you can read to the kids before or after you play, which gives it a nice little thematic image. Also, this game does come with a Three Little Pigs promo card, at least mine did, that allows you to get some extra points if you blow down the most houses, and that's the hare and the tortoise. All right, hare and tortoise. Yellow Purple Blade Games has done it again. I mentioned earlier that I loved Three Little Pigs. It was my family pick game of the year pick last year for 2013. Baba Yaga was a good game. It was probably my least favorite of the three, but I still have it because it's still quite enjoyable for me. This one might be the best of the bunch. I don't know. It's about tied for me. That's how highly I think of this game. And so if Three Little Pigs won Family Game of the Year last year, what is this one going to do the same? It's definitely already in the front runner for it for me. This game is great. You have a lot of control over what's going on. I love that you have a random starting person that you're betting on, and then you get to choose somebody. And then with the cards, you have the control. You get to play cards, and sometimes you're playing people that you want to move forward. Sometimes you're not, because either obviously you don't have the cards, or you're trying to not let somebody know who you have, because if they know who you have, they'll start burning cards of those and such. I like how when you have the cards with that wolf with the howling emblem, and when that card goes out, you can see people starting to really just dump cards and get rid of things like that. You have that little sheep guy in the stream. You have the turtle that moves once every time. It's like every time we've played this game, it's always like been like spread out, but then it always tends to get tight towards the end. The last game I played of this, I was the fox. One of the guys was the fox. Everybody else was almost like more than 3/4 of the way through, and the fox hadn't even moved one place yet. So everybody started dumping foxes, because everyone's like, oh, no one has them. And then I had a bunch of foxes, so I started throwing them too, and everyone's like, oh, everyone's just doing the same thing. The fox ended up coming in second, which was one of my guys, which was so cool. So I don't know, the dynamics of this game, how the race changes, how if someone doesn't have the turtle and he's going steady the whole race, people really have to speed up and really start to show their hands of who they're going for. I don't know, it's a light game. It's very light, but yet there's enough there for adults and gamers to be like, I can play with this with my kids, with my wife who doesn't like games, and it's fun, and it still is fun for me who likes deeper games, because it's light, but it's good. A very excellent job. Great job on the components, the card quality, the artwork's great, the theme is fun, you get to build the map every time. Huge thumbs up for me on this. Hare and Tortoise.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.